Hi guys, my name is Kayla and welcome to my channel. Today we're doing a full spoiler review of the whole Agatha All Along Marvel series. Why did I say all along like that? But anyway, so you are warned, this video is gonna be full of spoilers. So please do not watch this if you haven't seen the show, because I definitely, non-spoiler review, I definitely recommend the show. I loved it. So if that's what you wanted to hear, there you go. Go watch it and then come back and hear all of the spoilers I will be doing after the intro. So without further ado, let's get into the video. Okay, so recently they finished Agatha All Along. I binged the whole show in one sitting and there were 9 episodes, which means you know it's gonna be good. Because I think a popular complaint with Marvel fans and just all like streaming services these days is that they do too short of seasons, like 6 episodes, and a lot of the times we're like, just do a few more, then it'll be good, because you're missing those pieces usually. And in this one, they delivered. They finally listened, and maybe this is a sign that Marvel will finally listen to us. And I get that it's stupid to like listen to everything the audience says, because sometimes we're stupid, but I do agree that we're right on 6 episodes do not work, and 9 is enough because this season was amazing. When I watched WandaVision, that was like one of the first Marvel shows they made, like that's a part of the MCU, you know? And I remember thinking after watching it that there will be nothing as good as this from Marvel shows ever. Like, that was the highest bar. And I'm not gonna say that anything will be better than it, but I remember thinking nothing will be as good as this ever. And Agatha All Along came through. I put it on the same level as WandaVision, and to me that is the highest praise. Like, WandaVision is one of those shows that will go down history for me as the moment they got the formula right, you know what I mean? And this show did the same. Maybe even, I'm gonna say this, maybe even a little bit better, 1 millimeter better, okay? Because Wanda is my queen. And first of all, I will not stand for all the Wanda slander in Agatha All Along. I understand this is Agatha's show, which is why I went for this little purple. But as you can see, the red implies that Wanda is my girl and she will be my queen forever. But Agatha, you are allowed in her kingdom. But yeah, I loved the show. Let's stop talking about Wanda because this is Agatha's show. And Catherine Hahn, applause. I'm not trying to clap next to the mic, so I'm just doing a fake one, but damn, she did a good job. And I'm so glad that she finally got the chance to show how good of an actress she is, you know? Because I've always felt that she's a good actress and like amazing, but this was the chance to show literally everything she can do. Maybe she can do even more, and I hope that, spoiler alert, once again, her ghost continues in the Marvel universe and she continues on, because I kind of expected her to die in this, because I can imagine that there's only so far you can take a magical character, and I do think Marvel is struggling with thinking how to add science and magic and stuff together, because they've always kind of strayed away from the magic stuff. And let me just tell you, go all in Marvel like this show, because the magic was beautiful. I love magical things, magical shows, and this was what I wanted from this show. Like, lean in, you know what I mean? Lean all the way in. Like, don't go half like Doctor Strange and stuff like that. There's like, oh, it is magic, but they don't lean in. You know what I mean? It's still like science magic, you know? And this was like all the way in magic. I'm sorry I'm rambling, but yeah, I really loved that about this show. And I think because this show was about magic, Marvel was like, guess what? We can do whatever we want. Because there were a lot of queer characters in this show, and I was like, there you go, Marvel, do your thing. And I think the reason they did it, because usually they make such a deal about it, and like they have all this about like the first gay character, the first that character, because they love flaunting it in like the press and stuff like that. And for me, it's just like, just do it. Don't brag about it, just do it and make them valuable characters, and that's just a part of them. You know what I mean? And they finally did that. Like, Billy has a boyfriend, which is so cute, and they're really cute together. And Agatha is literally an ex of Death, Lady Death herself, which I'm still wondering if she had a thing with Thanos then, because if she's officially introduced into the MCU, if you didn't know, like the lore, Lady Death was supposed to have dated Thanos at some point. I'm not quite sure. I don't read the comics, but I remember reading that somewhere online. But yeah, so I wonder if that was a thing. Maybe that's why he was so powerful, like unstoppable, because he literally had death on his side. But I don't think so. I think Death and Agatha are in game. They're not going with other people. But anyway, so, and also the actress who played Death, I cannot remember her name for the life of me. I'm really sorry. If I remember, put it up here somewhere. But if I don't, I really loved her performance. I've also always loved her in all the roles she played. I loved her as April in Parks and Recreation. I loved her in all of her characters. Okay, I love this actress so much because I can tell she's like playing herself. You know what I mean? And it's so organic and natural. And I loved to see her play such a big character in this show. Like, she played Death. Like, everyone would jump at the chance to play Death. Like, that is the best character you can play because you can do whatever you want. It's like a construct. You know what I mean? Well, not a construct, but you know what I mean? Like, it's not a person. So you can do whatever you want. It was awesome. I love the way she went with it. I can tell she went all in. And I love it when actors do that. Don't try to be grounded, okay? Like, I feel like a lot of actors do this, like, be grounded, like, be in reality and stuff like that. But the best character in every show is the actor who goes all in, maybe even overboard. And that's why we love them so much. But anyway, characterizations aside, let's talk about the plot of the show. So basically, as the song goes, down the witching road or whatever, down the witch's road, how can I not remember the words? They literally sang it a million times. But that song is going to be stuck in my head just as much as Agatha All Along's song was stuck in my head, because that song is still in there. And they did it again because this song is so freaking catchy. And yes, I know they sang it a million times, so that's why it's catchy, I guess. But I even heard it before I watched the show and it was stuck in my head. So even hearing it once, it was. So it's good. But yeah, so the whole show is basically about them going down the witch's road, which is rumored to give you whatever you want at the end as a witch. And maybe that's power, maybe it's, I don't know, a family member in Billy's case. And it was so awesome when we got the reveal, because the whole show, they kind of hinted that Billy was, or William was, Agatha's son, because we learned that she had a son and his name was Nicholas Scratch, which is hilarious because I thought that was the name of the bunny, but it was her son's name. And apparently she lost him, which was very sad. I'm laughing because of the name, not because of the sad scenes that was her son dying, and it was amazing acting as usual. But yeah, so the whole time they hint that he is her son. We don't know in the beginning that he died. A lot of the people like guessed that, like in the show, I don't mean in real life, that she traded her son for the Darkhold, and that's how she got the Darkhold in the first place. And so everyone was like, she traded her son for the Darkhold. And I was like, sounds in character. But I really loved how this show went deeper into her character, and it made us empathize with her in a way we couldn't in WandaVision, because of course she was the antagonist in that show. But in this one, it is kind of her show, except for Billy, of course. But I'd say they're equal in that it's their show, you know. And I really empathize with her in this show, and it's a good job to do that. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to make you empathize with a character that is so evil. And that is so evil and has done so many bad things to characters we love and to characters in this show. But I still empathize with her, and I do love that they didn't go all the way with like the sad backstory that they sometimes do, because sometimes they make it so that you care too much. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I care about her a lot now because of her backstory and all of that and everything she did in the show, despite her faults. But she's still a bad person, you know? And I do love that because I support women's rights, but above all, I support women's wrongs. That's why I love Wanda, and that's why I love Agatha, because they don't hold back, okay? It's fine to have a character be horrible, to do horrible things. It doesn't mean we can't empathize with them. It doesn't mean they're not good characters. They may be bad, but they're good characters, you know? And I love that they did that with this show. I hate it when they try to make them too empathetic, and it's like, they're not really bad. But no, she is. Yes, we can empathize with her, and she has good parts in her, but she's not good. Okay? And yeah, let's talk a bit more about Billy, because as the reveal starts, we learn that he is not Agatha's son, and Death tells us straight out that he is not Agatha's son. And Agatha's like, yes, then I don't have to care if he dies. And but she already knows her son died, so I feel like she just did that to mess with Death. I don't know, I'm not sure, but that's my theory. But Billy, or William, is inside of another person's body. So I just went straight for it. Basically, after the Higgs fell, and of course you guys know this if you have seen the show, but a quick recap. When the Higgs fell, he basically jumped into the closest dead body, which is amazing. I love that. That is a big trope in like supernatural type shows, that if a dead person is like freshly dead, like a supernatural being that is also dead can jump into them. I don't know when this started, but it is a big trope, and I love it. Because it usually gives like a fun spin of like, ooh, this actor gets to play another character, you know? But in this way, it was like a character we didn't know. But basically he died in a car crash, and Billy jumped into his body, who is coincidentally, sorry, I slipped my... Why can I not talk sometimes? You know when it's so annoying? But anyway, he coincidentally, I did right that time, jumped into William's body. Billy found a body with the same name. Like, that was a bit like, I was like, okay, his name's William, which is short Billy, you know? But anyway, but yeah, he jumped into this kid's body, and he is now there. For a while, he didn't remember who he was, but the first moment he remembered, like, Tommy. And at that moment, I was like, that is freaking Billy Maximoff. That is Wiccan. He is awesome. And I love how this actor portrayed this character. And can I just say his American accent was amazing? Like, as most of you probably know, he's in Heartstopper. He's British. So I thought his American accent was amazing. But usually most people can do an American accent, but Americans can't do other accents for some reason. But not all the time. That's just a gross simplification of that, but it's kind of true. But yeah, so I loved him in the show, and I loved seeing a different type of character from him. He was a lot more confident in this show, and I loved seeing that. And I thought it would be really funny if the guy who plays his boyfriend in Heartstopper would have been his brother in this, but that would have been weird actually, never mind. But whoever plays Tommy, because we don't know yet, it's yet to be revealed, or maybe it has been revealed somewhere, but I haven't seen it. But he managed to get Tommy into another dead boy's body. A lot of saying the word dead in this. I hope this video doesn't get blocked. But at least I waited past the 10-minute mark. So, yeah. Tommy's out there now. He's in a fresh, gross, fresh body. And yeah, so Agatha in ghost form and by him I mean Billy, is gonna go look for him. And I hope that means there's gonna be a season 2. Or just like, maybe just a weekend show thing. Maybe they like spin off into another spin-off. But anyway, so I love this show. Like, what more can I say? I love it. I loved all the magical stuff in this. Like all the potions and the Witch's Road was freaking awesome. And I love the whole show where like, oh, this is this mystical Witch's Road. But by the end, we learn that it was just Billy. He made it, just like Wanda made the Hex. Without realizing. Both of them made it without realizing they did it. And I love that he has carried over that power. I didn't know if he would have reality warping powers like her, because I knew he was like also magical from like people talking about the character from the comics, and I remember seeing the kid have magic in the show, but like I didn't know he would have reality warping like her, because I thought it was kind of like the Scarlet Witch thing, but maybe it's just like a Wanda thing, and that's awesome. But yeah, so he has that reality warping ability, and he also did it without knowing, and he managed to kill a bunch of people without knowing, just like Wanda did. Well, she kind of knew, I guess, but whatever. Of course, he doesn't really remember his life before being in this body, so for a while he was like very confused and stuff, but he figured it out, which was really cool. Honestly, I think Agatha was scared of him, just like she deep down was scared of Wanda, because there were parts where she was just like, damn, Wanda, you're scary. Like, I want your power, but you're scary. And the same thing goes for Billy, because there was this moment, like when it's the last trial and she's like alone there and he's gone, and I can't remember her name either, the potions witch is gone, which she got her powers back. Woohoo! I hope we see her again, because I loved her character. And Lillian died and Alice died. How can I remember their names but not hers? I don't know. I think it's like Jules, Julie, Jillian? I don't know. But I'm bad with names, can you tell? But yeah, so he killed them, basically, without knowing. But he still did. And he also technically killed the Salem 7, which were like these creepy freaking actually scary witches who like were after Agatha and was gonna like drag her to death or whatever. But yeah, he killed them, so he's really powerful because they're like kind of immortal, I think. But yeah, so he made the Witch's Road, and I love that they did this multiple times in the show where like the perspective shifted. Like the first time they did it was from Agatha's perspective to Billy's, because while she was like under Wanda's spell, she was like delusional and like she thought she was a cop and like a detective, and like she arrested him. It was so funny when they switched it to Billy's perspective and she's just sitting in her living room completely delusional. I felt really bad for her, but it was also really funny. And yeah, the show was really funny. But yeah, so when the perspective shifted between Agatha and Billy, I thought that was so good. And then later they do the same thing when we learn Billy has just created this witch's road from scratch. It never existed in the first place. It was just a way Agatha killed witches. Like she would say, let's go to the witch's road, and then she would just suck their powers out like she does. And Billy was the only one who could actually just make it because he has Wanda's powers. And so when the perspective shifted again from Billy to how Agatha saw it, which was awesome, when we learned that she was the whole time like trying to figure out kind of what was going on, but she also kind of figured out that he was the one who did it, because who else would it been? And the whole time she was just like playing along, which is so her, because that's exactly what she did with Wanda. And I know he's like, Wanda's not my mother, this other lady's my mother, but guess what? You're not that boy. That boy is dead. You are Wanda's son. Okay? And proven by this whole show. And I hope there comes like a redemption type of arc where he's like, he learns more about Wanda, and like she learns that she is a good person. And that was like one of the slip-ups in her life, you know? And just like him, she didn't even know she was doing it in the first place. And she did stop it as she did show. But anyway, basically by the end of the show, a lot of the characters are dead, which is fun. But Agatha is also dead. She's a ghost. I don't know if ghosts can come back in this universe, because in some other shows they can, in movies they can, so I don't know if that's a thing, but I'm pretty sure she's gonna stay dead in some way. Like, even if she isn't a ghost, maybe later I don't know, I don't think she'll come back to life. But let's get to the big thing I wanted to talk about, actually, about this show. They begin the show when she's in her cop delusional fantasy thing. Like, she finds Wanda's body. Please. You don't fool me for a second, Marvel. Please. Even when I thought that was all real, I was like, not a chance. I don't care what you do. I don't care how many times you say Wanda's dead. I want to see the body firsthand. Not that fake body. Okay? But anyway, so first she thinks that's Wanda's body and stuff, but when she gets out of her delusion and Billy asks her, like, is Wanda actually dead? She says, and I quote, yes, no, maybe. And a maybe, I almost show middle finger, and a maybe is a yes, okay? She's alive. Or I mean, a maybe is a no, she's alive. Because I don't believe, like, I remember watching Multiverse of Madness and I was like, yeah, a building killed the Scarlet Witch, sure. But anyway, and then in this, they kept like pushing that she's dead, but they also kept the door open for her being alive. And to me, that is a sign that she's alive. Like with Loki, they shut the door. You know what I mean? Like, they were like, he is dead. I'm sorry, but he is dead. And I believe that now. I remember not believing it in the beginning, but since they chose an alternate version of him to base a show around, and Thanos said no resurrections this time, I'm pretty sure he's dead. But Wanda, until they prove it to me, like, firsthand, I don't know how they're gonna prove it to me. Like, show me what happened then. Show me how she gets crushed. I don't care if it's gonna be more than a PG rating, Marvel. Show me. Okay? Because I don't believe it for a second, and I never will. Even if they keep saying she's dead, in my mind she's alive. And that may be delusional, but I prefer to live in that. But anyway, so I did love that this show only hinted at Wanda a few times, because I was worried that it was going to be like, is this Agatha's show? You know? And it 100% was. The whole thing was like about her, around her. Yes, it was also about Billy, but also like Billy and her relationship, you know? And yeah, I loved it. I loved at the end that she kind of accepted Billy as like a kind of a son, and she kind of became like a weird mother figure of him, even though she tried to kill him multiple times and he tried to kill her too. So maybe they're even. But yeah, one thing I want to know is Vision ever going to come back? That's like my final question. I only started caring about Vision when him and Wanda were together. Let's be real. And he got a personality as well, because before he was just like a robot. But he is disassembled according to the show, and I do believe that. But they could build him up again, I think. So I don't know, but would it be him? Because he did get that like magic touch from Hex Vision, so maybe. But I don't know, we'll see in the future. Doesn't matter today, but in the future we'll see, I guess. But I'm looking forward to like Billy and Tommy reuniting. I don't know when they'll do that. Maybe when they do like a Young Avengers type of deal. But you know what I've been thinking about recently? I really hope they kind of do this thing where they kind of make it that Avengers won't come back again. You know what I mean? Like not the characters themselves, I mean the team. You know, I'm building a team, that kind of stuff. Because I enjoyed much more when we go on these journeys with the characters and maybe they meet up with other characters. But I don't want to like, we're building a team moment again, because I did love that, obviously, in the Infinity Saga, but I do think we need to move on from that like formula. Because say what you want about the Infinity Saga, we all look at it through rose-colored glasses, let's be real, because there are mistakes that were there, and it was very formulaic. Like everything was like origin story, Avengers. Origin story, Avengers, you know? And I like, even say what you want about these phases, I like that they aren't doing that so far. But I will say I'm very disappointed in how they've treated Wanda's character. I know this is Agatha's show and her video, and I'm talking about Wanda again, but one last thing I'll say about her is they did her dirty. Even if she isn't dead, the way they only scratched the surface of her powers and like then kill her off, and also like make her have the same character growth twice, because they just don't care, I think. I don't know. Or maybe the directors didn't talk to each other at all. They only scratched the surface of her power because she's the freaking Scarlet Witch. I don't think you understand. I was waiting for a no more mutants moment. Like, make it no more Avengers. That would be freaking awesome. Like, I want a full-on reality warping, like the whole universe moment. You know, I want her to be that. Make her a villain. If you want to make her a villain, make her a villain. Like, make her the no more mutants villain. Or maybe a yes, there's mutants moment. You know, imagine that. Like, more mutants or something like that. But I don't know. I just wanted a big moment for her, and she hasn't had that. And that is just so disappointing. Because, like, even seeing this show and everything they did with Agatha and all of the magical types of powers which Wanda has, and she has much more than that. So I do feel like they could have done more with her if she is truly dead. But if she isn't, here's your chance, Marvel. Make it right. But yeah, I doubt that. Doubt that they'd fix their laziness. But anyway, hope you enjoyed this video. Go watch Agatha All Along again. I don't know. It was awesome. Not sponsored. I will never be sponsored by Disney because I keep complaining. So it's fine. But yeah. If you enjoyed this video, please like, subscribe, comment down below.